everyone. How you doing, HH? And Happy New Year to everybody. We're in 2024 and ready to rock.
2024 is here, baby. Hello, hello. Happy New Year, everyone, of course. It's
I
the
did
New
write
Year edition.
2024 actually before 2024, which is the first time I ever did this. I was writing a check, which I didn't want to be cashed till next year, and I was mailing it around the 27th, and I wrote 2024 on it in 2023. Never did that before.
Dude, you still doing checks? I'm just kidding.
Well, this was a weird one that the place doesn't do electronic checks. So it was actually one of our landlords' business, and they do everything old school. So they don't believe in ACH. They don't believe in anything. They don't even want a post office. They want everything post office box. They don't want you to mail them checks. They want you to send them to a post office box.
Listen, they're old school. They're old school. That's it. I mean, they got to get with the times. I mean, right now, you can do all that stuff electronically. As a matter of fact, even if you did to your bank, it is still a check that goes to them from the bank. It's just
Well,
from your account.
that's true. I could have done that, but I wanted to make sure it gets there on a certain day because if it's not there right on the first, they charge 15% late fee.
Ooh, okay.
And because it's New Year's, they might have done it the second because there was no place open right on the first, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, no worries. No worries. Well,
How
just
were your holidays?
oh, those were good. Well. First things first. Let's do our intro
Oh, yeah,
as we've
that's
been.
right.
Yeah. We're live right now, folks. So this
We're
is
live,
actually a
everybody.
live.
Yeah, we're live. I'm John C. Morley, one of your co-hosts, and I'm together with,
Hurricane H.
and together in 2024, we make up one, two, three, double
Double
impact.
impact. That's right, baby. You get a double impact here. You get John and myself, and we're both crazy. And this is one of your weirdest shows. This is not our typical. We do a lot of different things. I do my thing. He does his thing. But this is our thing, and it's just a roll chat. We're not planning it. We know we plan the time, but that's it. The
Yeah, that's
topics
about all we
comes
ever
up.
planned. We never really discuss what we're going to talk about. Even before the show, we're like, what should we talk about? Well, we'll just go where it goes. Kind of.
That's right. That's right. Hey, shout out to Aaron. Aaron, my man. How you doing?
Hey there.
So actually, we are live on YouTube and Twitch as well as Instagram. So if you're watching, you can
And
join, you can
TikTok
comment.
too, right?
Not TikTok, not TikTok. Nope.
Okay.
We're just because on TikTok they're not gonna be able to see you. They're just gonna hear you.
Oh,
So
that's right. They can't
yeah,
see me.
we want them to see you, man.
Yeah, you got to help me get some more followers, guys. I got to reach 1,000 followers. JCM Academy.
Yeah. Well, listen, folks. I mean, hey, listen. It's John has quite a bit of programs, and he's all over the place and a lot of places. You can listen to him on all the different platforms on iHeartRadio. He has his own show. He has, on the Apple podcast, whatever you can find him. I mean, so
iTunes,
LinkedIn.
Spotify. There's so many right
Yeah.
now. I can't even keep track of them all. But the reason we're trying to do TikTok is because we want to stream live to TikTok all of our shows. And the other thing we want to do is I have some really crazy things I want to do in 2024, like bake for you in real time on camera. Now, not this 5-10 minute stuff. I'm talking about real baking, like that takes hours, not the stuff that takes 5 minutes.
Ooh. All right,
Making a
man.
cake doesn't
Actually,
take 5 minutes.
I gotta tell you, that works on TikTok. I mean, I go to some feeds and these people are just working, cooking and stuff. Camera is on and they do their thing. I mean, they're not even bothering. They're just doing it. People are watching and it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, you'll learn a couple of things. So, it works. So again, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can be done. And like I said, John is the king of content. I mean, really, he's just pushing every day.
I create some content. Even when I take a vacation, which I was with my folks, I still create content.
Yeah. Well, you were actually, I saw you. You were live.
Still creates their content, and my friends say to me, John, well, why do you create content when your team creates content? I said because baby, there's never enough content. My team
Well,
gets paid to create content. I create content.
Well, that's different. I mean, the team creates content without you. You create content with you.
Well,
you
the
know.
content I create, like for example, I started a new thing not too long ago. I added JMore Reels, where every single day I post in the morning, and I post at night, and I post something with me in a reel. I also post a JMore tech tip which last week we undressed the whole iPhone and we went through all the hidden secrets behind it. And then I do an orbital media tips, which talks about all kinds of things. And this week we're exploring things with how to start a business. And those are like just static posts.
So John, we have some folks already on an Instagram feed here. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you can leave us, comments, and we can place them in. If everybody is interested in coming on the show right now, let us know on the feed, and we'll send you the link, and you can be live with us, and we can have fun. We can take it whatever you want, right? Just as long as we respect, our audiences. The rest is history. We can talk. But yeah, man. So again, Rick Aaron, what's up, my man? Hope all is well. So the new year is here. We had the long run.
2024.
Amazing, isn't it? Like time is flying, and like forget about it. I mean, what's the day? The date? I mean, the 8th already. Wow. It's moving. Before you know it, is February, Valentine's.
They say there was a special. Was it midnight 12, 1, 2? What was it? 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. There was a certain date they said it was never going to repeat. What was the date? Was it 12, 1, something? There was a certain date. I'm trying to remember. People were picking because they wanted to get married on this specific date.
In this year, you mean? Or this month? Let's think. What would that be?
Was it 12, 12? It was 12, 12, 2, 4. That wasn't it. It was 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. What was the special date? There was a special date.
Bro, I have no idea. Every day is a special day for me.
I'll think of it. Anyway, have any of you guys thought about or given any thought about what your New Year's resolutions are?
For me, it's just let's keep pushing what we do and try to help as many people and try to get a lot of people enlightened. That's all there is. Now, a lot of people think resolution is just fitness, but there's more to it. I mean, it's health, fitness, wellness, you name it. It's your wealth. It's whatever you want to make out of it. It's and by the way, we had a whole discussion with Dr. Ham the other day, and it's really just an objective that we put in, and hopefully we'll follow through with it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's so as I told you before, a lot of us say they want to create goals. I don't create goals. I stopped creating goals a few years ago. The reason I think I've said this to you guys before, for those of you that are new watching tonight, is that a goal is something that we would like to achieve. And if we don't achieve it, okay, well, we'll just try harder next time. See, that doesn't cut it for me. So that's why I stopped a couple years ago creating goals, because it's a waste of time. I make promises to myself about what I'm going to achieve. You see, when you make a promise to yourself or someone and you don't achieve something, well, you want to do everything you can to make that happen. If you just say, oh, I am going to have a goal that I'm going to do this. All right, well, it didn't happen, so I guess we'll just try again. So how many times are we going to just keep trying again? It's like there's no urgency in a goal, but in a promise, there's an emotional attachment, an emotional commitment. So when it was, I believe, HH, it was, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was the day before New Year's. That would have been December 31st, if I'm correct, 2023, right?
I think so. That was a good one. Well, let me guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the date. That definitely was the date. I made this. I made this post. Okay, and the post is pretty cool. And the post is something I shared on social media. Now, let me get into why I did that in a minute. So, first thing I did was I created this goal thing, and I made it really colorful with my 2024 New Year's resolutions, right? I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resolutions that I promised myself I will achieve this year. 1, and I'll tell you why I'm telling you this in a minute, and you can do the same thing as well with someone else you know. Get a new office and production center. Master mindful meditation, monetize my podcast and events with Fortune 500 companies, get booked on 1 to 2 profitable keynotes per month, only associating with people that have positive energy, publish my book, 25 Gifts of Inspiration to Change Your Life, train to become a runner, and I realize my life has no limits to what I can achieve. Therefore, I can achieve anything. But I share this with you, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not about what I've done. It's about what you're going to do. So when you write something down, when you make it into a project, it could be a collage, like I made a collage of mine, and I have all these little fireworks kind of popping all over the place. And I printed that out, and I have that I can look at. And in addition to that, I made a video of it, and I put that out there. And the thing about this video, which is really cool, is I actually put it with a great song. And the song I put it with, you guys probably know this, by Journey, Don't Stop Believing, okay? And I put this out there. And the next thing I did, the reason I did this is that I wanted to post it on social media because I wanted accountability. Now, even though I don't have a direct accountability partner, when I was posting this, I'm hoping that people that are seeing this are going to hold me accountable. Like, hey, John, how's that goal going? How's that dream coming? How's that journey coming to becoming a runner? That's what I want. I want the people to challenge you. Hey, John, how's that book coming? So I put it out there. I am, I'm not hiding from what I want. And so when you share your promise out with the world, something magical transforms. And that's the fact that it goes from being a dream to becoming a reality, because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take back what leaves your lips, or what you share on social media for that matter, right? So by me doing that, I made a bold statement. So have any of you created your New Year's resolutions? Okay. And when you create them, I want to give you some advice. Have the goal already fulfilled, right? Get into office, master mindful meditation. Like, has it been done? A lot of people put in their resolution. I'm hoping to do that. Well, don't hope to do anything, because if you hope, it's just like when we talk about lack. Well, I need money. I need this. I need people. No, you don't need any of that. What you need is more of it. See, there's a difference. If we talk about, I need money. Okay, great. Universe is great. Okay, John, no problem. I'm going to make sure you keep needing money. I'll keep making sure you need it. You'll keep needing it forever. And so that's the wrong message. So I want to tell you how you talk to the universe. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but here we go. So you kind of can be a little comical. Say, hey, universe, listen, it's me, John. You know me. I'm down here on Earth. Hey, thanks so much. Listen, I know you're really busy up there. I do, and I know you're doing a lot of other things. But you remember that 10,000 you promised me, or that 20,000, a new car you promised me? I know it's coming. I know you're busy. I just want to remind you, because I know you're getting ready to send it to me, and I just want to make sure you didn't forget. I know you got it, but I just was reminding you because I know you're so busy with everything. I already know you started working on it, and I know it's going to show up very soon. So thank you, and I look forward to it. That's how you talk to the universe. You can talk to you and say, hey, universe, I expect great things from you in 2024, including an extra $5,000 in my bank account right now. Thank you so much, universe. I love you. You see how that energy shifts you? It changes your perspective of the moment. And when we change our perspective of the moment, the situation we're in changes. And because that changes, other people start to look at us differently. Now, I don't mean for a judging perspective. I just mean the fact that they now believe more in us. Now, other people should not affect whether you do or don't do something. But when people are supporting you, it does make your dreams easier to achieve. You all can appreciate that. It's just that as I said to you before, no one will help you get on the train when it is stopped, where the plane is in the runway. It has to be moving 1,000,000 miles an hour before they'll risk their lives to get on there. See, nobody wants to get on when it's starting. Like, we're starting, we're growing on TikTok, we're growing on the. Nobody wants to come when we're growing, right? Same thing I had with one of my shows. My show had a couple hundred views. People reached out, but nobody really wanted. Got 1,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 50,000 views, 80,000 views, 120-some thousand. Hey, now suddenly, oh, well. And then I got a director the other day. He says, by the way, how do I get on your show? Oh, you want to be on my show? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's changing perspectives. And when things like this happen, you don't just get guests on your show if you're hosting. You get people, I don't want to say they're begging to be on your show, but they're wanting to do this. Oh, by the way, what's your address? I want to send you my book. I didn't even have to ask for the book. Oh, I was hoping to be on your show, but listen, I want to send you my book anyway, even if you don't think it's a fit. I just want to send you my book. That's something that didn't happen before. So this happens because of something I want to talk about by Neville Goddard, and I've mentioned him before. And you have to live the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now, that's very hard for a lot of people. They don't know how to live the feeling of the wish fulfilled because they don't see it right now. And so just because your senses, things you see, hear, touch, taste, smell, are not activating you to believe that your desire is here, it's in your hands. So, wise person once asked me, John, well, I want to make a few $1 million, or I want to make a few $1,000. I said, okay. I said, stop thinking about lack. Stop thinking about the fact that you have to pay all these bills. Stop thinking about that. See them as already paid off. But what I tell people to do is before they're going to sleep, just laying in the pillow just before you're closing your eyes, and you just count back. So you want to receive that money, it's no problem. So you just picture yourself, you can close your eyes before you're going to sleep, and you're just kind of, in that lack state, a lack of rest, basically a rest state, not a lack, but a rest state. And you can just count, right? You can just count. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just feel how that feels. That money just keeps going into your bank account. And you feel so good. Oh my gosh, I'm at 60,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. Wow, this is so amazing. Oh, wow. 150, 170, 200, 300,000, 400,000. And you keep going for it. And so this feeling gets our subconscious to unlock. And we said before that our subconscious runs a good percentage of our body. Now, how much do you think? What percentage of our body do you think the subconscious runs? Anybody? Anybody here? Or you, HH?
I'd say 80%.
Good guess. Any of our fans from TikTok or Instagram want to guess?
Come on. Subconscious versus conscious.
How much?
Shout out, Melissa.
What percentage do you think? What is it? What percentage is this a question? What percentage of your body is controlled by your subconscious?
So are you saying controlled, or like how much our subconscious plays a role in our life?
So when I say controlled, same thing. Playing role in controlling, so it's controlling our body. There's autonomous and autonomous functions, right? So it's actually 97 point something percent. Okay?
I was going to say
So
90,
that
but
means, okay? And there's a quibble between 97 and 97.8, but most people, if I say 97, they'll agree with me. I was blown out of the water when I took psychology and neurolinguistic programming, and I realized that we do things and don't know why we do them. We just do them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very apropos thing because this week on Inspirations for Your Life, we're talking about something that most people might think is trivial. And you might say, well, John, what's trivial? What is it that you're talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you. So what we decided to talk about this week might seem very trivial to some on the cursory level, all right? The topic for this week's show, is everybody ready for it? Unlocking the spectrum of color.
Ooh.
And understanding how it will make us successful.
Let's expand on that, baby.
What's that?
Let's expand on that one.
And to go here, if you were to get something, would you want it to be black and white or would you want it to be in color?
Me personally?
I'd probably say you want it to be in color, which is why color costs more money than black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It has more of an effect on us. But let's just go back a little deeper. When did the meaning of color originate? That's a really good question. When?
Oh, I have no clue.
Well,
I'm learning.
They originated back around the 19th century. And then the Revolution, we had color theory. Or when did the meaning of color, I should say, start to take form? And we'll call it the color revolution. All right. There have been lots of books written about this, just like we had the scientific revolution. And the first documented color wheel, this is going to blow you away, it was actually in 1708. Artists began to quibble over the existence of the so-called primary and secondary colors in this framework and how colors can affect people. Now, I'm not going to go through all the colors, but there are a lot of colors. All right. And so pick two colors that you want me to dissect for you, HH.
I'm gonna go with white, and there's a reason I'm asking. And then let's go with orange.
Which one do you want me to do first?
White.
All right, that's fine. So white, by the way, is one of the 12 primary colors. Great choice. So I'm going to talk about this in terms of what it symbolizes, what it affects, what the positiveness of it, and what the negativeness of it is. Okay. So white symbolizes cleanliness, purity, innocence, perfection. That's what it stands for. It affects our refreshability, our balance, our purification, and simplification. That's what it affects. The positiveness of white is we feel good. We have hope. We have clarity. We have open minds. The negativeness of white is boring, cold, empathy, and distant. Empty, not empathy. Empty. There are 4 primary hex codes to represent the color white. That's pound, F8, F8, FF, pound, FB, FB, F4, pound, FA, 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 kind of like fa, la, 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 but just fa, fa, fa. And then the last one is pound, FFF, AFA. So white is purity. It's about innocence. And it loves to work and make other colors feel good. It's like when you take a red color and you stick a white on it. It has a great way of tying things together and making things that are meaningless seem as though they have a meaning. Does that make sense, everyone? So people that use white, for example, we're using white here on the podcast. You guys might be noticing that on the bottom. The white is basically breaking up some of the color so that our eyes can actually see that. In doing that, it actually makes us more interested to watch because there's less clutter. In the background, you'll notice there is a phone there, and there is a white border around it, and there's a white at the bottom. So that white basically indicates to us that what's going on, okay, or what is happening is that there is a, there is, I'll say it, there is a balance. That's probably the best way to understand it. And so when you think about the meaning of white, you see white lots of different places. I mean, lots of places. It really loves to be around other colors to give them a purpose, like the white around the green, the white in the EMBC network logo. It gives us a focal attraction point. If everything we had here was white, then there would be no contrast. White is a good color to make something stand out from almost any other color. But let's be careful. Let's not abuse white, okay? White is oftentimes used as either a background color or it's used as a highlight color. And then other primary colors are added to that. Does that make sense to everybody watching tonight? Any feedback?
Nothing yet.
Nothing.
I'm looking. By the way, I did put in the link to the StreamYard. So if you guys want to join, hey, come on in. Share your thoughts with us. Come on, have some fun.
The more, the merrier. So white is an important color. Now you said orange, right? So we're talking about orange in the same way. What it symbolizes, the effects, the positiveness, the negativeness of orange. Orange is great. Oranges taste good, but we're not going to talk about that orange. No pun intended. So orange symbolizes emotion, youth, optimism, enthusiasm. Okay? The effect of orange is encouragement. It uplifts us. It stimulates us. It's a great color for communicating. It's a positive color because it's spontaneity, it's creative, it's warm, and it does stand for positivity in itself, which is really cool. The negative reason for orange, unfortunately, exists: exhibitionism, superficial, impatient, and sometimes orange can be taken as a domination. And the 4 hexes for orange are pound 983 D00, pound C14 Delta 00, pound 95700, and pound EA5 E00. So orange is a very interesting color. And if we had to think of, what brands use orange? Well, I can give you a couple famous ones. You guys might know the Harley-Davidson motorcycles, right? They have orange in their brand, don't they? And I think what they're trying to get at is enthusiasm. And I think they're trying to get into something that stimulates, in the case for males that love Harley-Davidson. And they're trying to, because when you think of a motorcycle, it's spontaneous, right? I don't ride a motorcycle. It's that warm. It's that, in the negative sense, some bad that they like that dominating, which could be seen positive and negatively depending on how we slice the orange, right? So they're going for that reason. If we look at the Home Depot, now they got orange, but look what they also got in their logo, OHH. They got white in there. And it stands out very prominently. So what's Home Depot trying to convey? Well, I think what they're trying to talk to us about is enthusiasm for our projects. That let's get more done at the Home Depot. The effect is they're hoping it's going to stimulate us to get off our butt, get down to the store, or go online and order those things so we just make that project ourselves right after we finish dinner. Kind of like, what is it? You always see at This Old House when he was alive, or Jody and Mary's like, oh, hi, hon, do we finish dinner? What do you want to do? Oh, I figure we'll just finish supper, and then I got those poles. If you want, we can start digging up the ground, and we can start putting the sprinklers, and we should be able to have that all done probably just before we'll have time for cake. So they start having dinner at 3 or 4. They finish dinner. They go outside at 5. Wow, this is a lot of work, backbreaking. Yeah, and if you do this yourself, you want to make sure you have professionals come in. But, Mary and I, we've been doing this for a long time, and we know how to do this. We rented the right equipment because you don't want to do it with the wrong equipment. And then we start doing this thing. You got to be, then she'll come in and say, you got to be careful when you put the pipes in the ground because we don't want to cut into my husband's pipe because that could be a big problem. And then all that work we spent all afternoon would basically be for naught, and that would not be a good thing. Remember, we started this all morning, but we just wanted to put the fitting touches on. We already had dug the holes this morning, so you didn't have to wait for us to do that. All we're really doing now is just laying the pipes, putting some fittings together, connecting it, and then I think tomorrow we'll call Joe, the electrician, and we'll get him to wire it. Well, we actually don't need Joe. This is a simple matter. We can actually do it ourselves. We can. Yeah, we're just going to run some low voltage wire 24. Well, what's 24? Well, that's the gauge, hon. Oh, okay. So we're going to run one big wire, and we're going to connect all the valves. Sounds complicated. Well, it's not. We're just going to go ahead and connect the 2 wires, one to the one and one to the other. And then we're going to hook the different colors. We're going to mark them, and we'll know which ones are at the end of our clock, and we'll just connect them up. And then we'll plug it in, and we'll be ready to go.
Johnny you made it so easy. It's not even funny.
We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow after we have breakfast. I'll make pancakes tomorrow. We'll do that right after breakfast tomorrow. So what I'm trying to get at here is the Home Depot. I've watched enough of those shows. The Home Depot is trying to convey to us positivity. They're trying to inspire creativity in our character. The negative, but it could be seen as a positive side. Oftentimes male, I'm not going strictly to male, but lots of male like, oh, I can definitely do this. So they go, we go buy all these expensive tools and all this stuff, and then you get home and it's like, what's a chuck? You never used a drill before. No, I figure you just kind of plug it in. Well, you got to charge it. Oh, I have to charge it. And I'm being facetious here because, the one guy gets all the stuff and he comes home and he's supposed to put everything together for his family, and then he has no clue how to use the drill. When he calls by, he says, listen, you use those tools. How do you make the thing? How do you make it work? You mean, how do you drill? Yeah, how do you make that little thing spin around? Well, did you charge it? How do you do that? Well, you clip the clamp on and, listen, could you come over for a beer later and show me how to do that? Oh, yeah, sure. And they just make it so easy. So that's what they do. Now let's talk about another one. How about Crush? What is Crush trying to convey? What do you think they're trying to convey, HH?
Splash, a crush rush. I don't know.
They're trying to get the emotion and the youthful feeling of the crush of that and the enthusiasm. The effect they're trying to get in there is that it's going to stimulate us to be able to do what we need. And it's just going to get us to have a spontaneous action. I'll do one more. We have another one I'll pick. Let's see here. There's quite a few. How about we go with the MasterCard and Visa logo? So they have red and they have orange. We're only talking about the orange right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to convey the fact, they're trying to link an emotion to using a charge card, which is a very bad thing. And they're trying to encourage us to just use the card. It's so easy. And they're trying to inspire our spontaneity and our creativity. So we're just going to want to pop it out of our wallet. And now we don't have to do that anymore. We can just pop our phone and we can pay for things. So colors have a real thing. But what we didn't talk about is let's take some logos, corporate logos, with white in them. So corporate logos with white. So one of the ones that would probably be one of the, because there's a lot of them out there. Probably the one that I'm thinking that probably means the most. Let's talk about Spotify.
Green, black, and?
Yeah, we got the green and we got the white. So what is the white trying to symbolize in Spotify?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, So the
But
white,
that's really what we hear, right? We want to know. I mean, these are not done without a purpose. There's a purpose behind these stuff.
absolutely. So they're trying to symbolize that it's clean. It's very easy to access Spotify. It's very easy. It's clean. It's not complicated. The effect is that Spotify is here to refresh and balance our life. The positiveness is we can look for hope. We can look for clarity. Okay. So you wouldn't think it, but brands go into a lot of effort to create things. Owning a marketing and advertising company has made me appreciate these. And until you really think about this and some things, I'm trying to think of another one that you probably know. You probably know the best one I could think of that a lot of people know. You might know. I'm trying to think of one that everyone will probably know because there's a lot out there. Like there's different bars. There's different. I'm trying to remember who has a white corporate logo. I'm trying to remember who has like a really like one
Yeah,
that
Starbucks.
No, what's that?
I think Starbucks got green and white now.
Starbucks is green and white now.
I don't know. I think that's what
Let me see here. Let me see. I think I found one that I just again. I'm looking for one that has a big enough brand that everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean." Let me see if Starbucks has. Let me see if they have one. If it was one like that. Let's see. Starbucks logo is what now? Starbucks logo. Let's see what that is. That's a So it has a green and it has a white. Okay, so what is Starbucks trying to convey to us?
Don't know.
Well,
buy our drinks.
They're trying to convey to us that it's clean, that it's pure, that it's a perfectional coffee or a drink, and they're hoping it'll balance and nourish us. And they want us to get a sip of goodness and hope in every cup.
I'm not a big fan, but
no,
I mentioned it because of the colors.
There, but that's not my big fan either.
Yeah, I think they're overpriced and they're also controversial right now. So,
but you also have to look at my big thing, which I don't know if you guys have seen. I did a little take back against them. They weren't too happy with me. I won't go into it too much on the show, but you can catch it on BelieveMeAchieve.com. You can also go to we're on there. You'll see it's a Science Fries with John. You can go on there. I'm trying to remember. And if you go there, you'll see that the video that we have is literally of me talking about the scandal going on at Starbucks.
Well, that's what I said. There's a whole. I mean, there's the boycott. There's all kind of stuff going on, and
so this hold is a little different. This hold is tied to science.
Oh, because of what they claimed as their nutrients or food, or they pitch in certain thing that is not real. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, this is a little different. This one is going to basically talk more about the fact that there's something called an optical illusion. And so an optical illusion that I did, trying to remember when I did this, how long ago I did this. It was a while ago. But this video that I did was an optical illusion. And I went to my local Starbucks. Again, I don't go to Starbucks. You don't go to Starbucks. So I went there one morning. And I did something pretty strange. I went and got a coffee. Now, that doesn't sound strange, right? I went and got a large coffee. And then I went ahead and asked them for 2 cups because, it's very hot and I don't want to burn my hand. I also said, gee, could you give me a medium coffee with 2 cups and also a small coffee with 2 cups because your coffee is so bloody hot and I don't want to burn myself. And so my video, in case you guys want to try to catch it, it's called the Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts Coffee Scam.
Do you want to share that?
What's that? What it is?
The video, is there a way to share it on the screen with us?
Can I share? Well, let me share. Let me see if it'll let me. If I'm allowed to share, let me see if I can.
Yeah, you should be
If
able
I
to.
can, if I click on present,
Mm-hmm.
share screen, I should have ability to do that. Share a specific window. I gotta find the right window here. There's a lot of windows.
You're busy, man.
Yeah, when to walk away, come back. Final. I'd say Morley serial entrepreneur projects. For some reason, because I'm in one screen, it's not showing me the whole thing. Google Final Delivery, download, Zoom, projects. Why can't I find this? When to walk? No, ads. Let me see if I can find it here. Is it this one? When to walk away and come back? No, ads. Is it in Zoom? No, it's not there. Not there. Let me just go to entire screen. All right, I'll just go to allow for a second. Can you see my screen now?
I see it.
Okay. So we take a look here. I'll just show you real quickly. Can you hear it?
You need to unmute it.
Sound. Here we go.
It's weird. We can't hear it.
They did not like this video.
Oops. I wish we could hear it, but somehow I don't know.
That?
We can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, that's not good. Hold on.
Can you double check on it? Let's see if you can.
You could see it though, right? You just couldn't hear it?
No, we can see it. We just cannot hear it. That's all.
Yeah, that's okay. So if I go here, share screen.
It looks interesting. I want to hear what the hell you were talking about, man.
Yeah, I know. I want to share it with you too. Oh, okay. Mute notification, entire screen. Okay, it says here allow. Browser block screen. That's not good. Video file, share screen. Sometimes on this one, it's not giving me. Okay, I got this one. I got this one. When to look? Okay, why is it not showing me? Entire screen, Zoom, no. Final delivery. What I can do is I might be able to just give you the link. Let me just see here. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me. I can just paste the link and I can let you share it.
Yeah, try. Let's try. Let's try that.
Yeah, I don't know why. There you go. See it? Do you see it, HH?
I see it, but let me bring it up.
All right, it's a little tricky, right? I know when I don't connect in Chrome, it doesn't like when I have multiple windows open in Firefox. It's not StreamYard's not very friendly with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's not allowing the sound to come out.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe there's something on the settings in the StreamYard that
Yeah.
that
So
needs.
when you click on present, you can click it as the file. So the other way I can think of it, I'll try one other thing while we're doing this here. I'm going to convert it to and just share the file. Anyway, but I'll tell you why I'm doing this. So basically, they have different sizes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I wanted to see for myself, is this really like something that is true, or is it just people that are just like, just kind of going against Starbucks? Like, is this really something, or is it just something that, people are making up? So I said, the only way I'm going to figure this out is I'm going to have to do it myself. I'm going to have to figure out, like, is this something that I actually, want to, want to check out. So I said, and you'll see in a minute, it says, the thing says, they are ripping you off. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just making a quick file. So what you guys will see in a minute, which I think you'll find pretty easy, I just did as a small resolution here. But yeah, it's preparing the file. It's almost done. So that's the other way I share files on StreamYard is I create them and then I just share them as an actual presence. And once I do that, then I can pretty much just share any video file directly, and the races are over. I mean, it's a real simple process. But so they have 3 sizes at Starbucks. And the question you're probably asking yourself is there a difference between these sizes? I mean, I think that's really the question. Is there a difference? So we have things in life called optical illusions, right? And an optical illusion is something that we think is one way, but then it's actually another way.
Wait. Hold on. Are you saying that literally the large or the tall or whatever is the same level?
I'm going to explain this to you in just a second.
Because that sounds like, that whole McDonald's fries. That would be an interesting thing. Because I've always been curious. I have not tested it, but if you did, let's share the love.
That's exactly what I did here, and I'm just let me go back here. Taskbar settings. I have to just hide my bar, but I think because when people first saw this, I don't think people understood what I was doing. They didn't realize that I was trying to do this. And I think when you can understand that, I think it makes it makes a lot of sense to how this actually works. So let me go present this file. So I'm just going to do it as a video file now. Here it is, everyone. Are you ready?
Hit it, baby.
All right. We're in the show.
Everyone, it's John, the science guy. And today on Science Fridays with John, we're exposing the illusions of coffee in local places like Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. Stay tuned.
One person asked me to take it down, and I said, no.
Hi everyone, it's John, the science guy, and welcome once again to my friendly lab. How many of you out there have ever ordered a cup of coffee or maybe a tea or a latte from either a local Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks? If you have, would you go ahead and hit the thumbs up button? Hey, thanks so much. And why don't you comment below, when was the last time you did it? Do you do it every day? Is it something that you have to have before you get your morning going? Or is it just something you have whenever you have some free time? At Starbucks, and I'll look at some other ones as well, you get a small hot beverage, and here's a medium hot beverage. I'm going to take the medium hot beverage, and I'm going to pour it into a small hot beverage. Now, if you look at that, you see what's left in my cup? Okay, that's not even barely a mouthful. So what I'm trying to show you here is that it looks like you're getting a lot more in the large, but you're really not. If you take a look again, watch this cup. You see that? Okay? There's a tiny bit more, and they don't even fill these to the top when you go there. So depending on, who you have. But just to show you, a small coffee at Starbucks, depending on where you are in the country, runs one price, and then another one is a little bit more. You're talking easily 50 cents more for a cup of coffee that is not much bigger than this cup of coffee. So again, by pouring this in here, we can see that the coffee, this obviously is a medium, this obviously is a small. But if you are looking at the fact that we're gonna pour the large, again, I'm gonna do this one more time. You can see right there, right? So as I'm pouring it, okay, look at how much, ladies and gentlemen, is left in the cup. is that really worth 50 or 75 cents? I don't think so. So I decided to go to Dunkin' Donuts because I figured maybe it was just Starbucks, right? All right.
I didn't drink Edith's coffee. I don't drink coffee.
So what I'm going to do here is just to show you, I'm going to take my large, I'm going to pour it into my small. Now, at Dunkin' Donuts, look how much more coffee you're actually getting. So I have to tell you, the difference between the small, okay, and this size, definitely a little bit different. But what's interesting is that this is a small and this is a large. If I was to do that with another size, which we have right here, okay, small, medium, and large. All right. So there is a difference you guys can see in that. And I'll show you in the Starbucks that there's a difference as well. So if I take my medium cup of coffee, let me move these coffees out without knocking them over. Lots of coffee here. All right, so I'm going to take my medium cup of coffee right here. I'm going to pour that in. Okay, so Dunkin' Donuts does give you a little bit more coffee than Starbucks does between their small and the medium. However, if we go back to our Starbucks coffee, which we have here just a second, and if we were to take a look at this coffee right here, and we were to look at this, and we were to look again at the medium, looking at the sizes, they seem like they're pretty big in difference, right?
An optical illusion.
Taking this,
Well, it's
pour
skinnier.
it again. Okay, so depending on how they fill it, I think the issue comes down to, are you really getting a good value? And my answer is no, because the cups actually are optical illusions. They're slightly bigger, but our eye, because of the curve of the cup, actually makes us believe that it's a lot bigger. So I guess the question comes down to, are you getting more coffee? Well, for Dunkin' Donuts, if you look, you are getting a little more coffee. Is that much coffee worth an additional 50 cents? So I'm not saying that they're not giving you a larger size. What I'm saying is that size difference worth the additional dollars? And in my personal opinion, I would say no. Now, let's look here again at this coffee. Okay, so here's my large. Looking at a large coffee, all right, and they don't always fill it to the top. So my real question is, when you're buying coffee in the morning, if you're gonna buy a small or you're gonna buy a medium, there is a difference of maybe a half a mouthful when you go from a small to a medium. So the point here is, don't buy the medium, buy the small. And I think what they're doing is kind of a little unfair. I don't know if it's marketing or what it is. So they are giving you a bigger size, but it's really not justified for the amount you're getting. I mean, you saw it right here as we poured it. So again, an optical illusion, here's the word of the day, is when you have something that you're looking at that actually has a difference to what it actually is. For example, if we look at this cup, and one cup here looks smaller, and the other one looks a little bit larger, like we have between our medium coffee, right? So if we look here, we have our, just to show you our sizes one more time, we have our small, we have our medium, and we have our large. You would think between this and this that I'd be getting a lot more coffee because it seems like it's a lot bigger of a cup. It's not. What they're doing is, if you look at the cups, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you can see this, the circumference of these cups on the inside, okay, is how they basically are beating us. Because most people don't go and measure the circumference and the area of the cup. They just don't do it. And for that extra half a mouth swallow, is it really worth 40 cents, 50 cents? I don't think so. So I am John the Science Guy. Today you've been learning about optical illusions. Remember to like, support, and love my channel. And remember to...
Wow.
Pretty cool, right?
Bro, that is crazy. I mean, I've seen that before, and I
Well,
didn't
you saw it right
realize.
with your own eyes, right?
Yeah, man, it's amazing, and the prices actually are a little higher than that because, actually, hold on, let me see.
You have to realize that was done a little before COVID, so now we're even over $1. But when I did that, it was close to 56 cents. But my point is not that they're not giving you a larger amount. Okay, they are. But if you came over to my house and you asked me for a large coffee, and I said, okay, here's the medium, but you want the large, no problem. Keep the same cup. I'm going to give you a tablespoon. Okay, you got the large. You're going to look at me like, like, what's the difference, man? And so, because of people's perceptions, because of the fact that they are giving you more coffee or more liquid, they're not technically committing fraud. But what they are doing is they're deceiving the public. But because it is substantially more than a drop, in a court, it'd be considered perfectly legal. 7-Eleven had the same problem many years ago. They got sued. And now they have great differences in cups. Some of them even have measuring sticks right on the cup. So I went to one day, and I measured the thing. I think it was at 7-Eleven. And I said, I don't trust the stick. I said, I'm going to bring my own cup. I brought my own cup one time just for the hell of it. I just poured it. And I was like, what gives? It's like, the stick said it's 3 ounces, but my scale says it's only an ounce. So you know what the guy told me? This was a while back. He said, something wrong with your scale, man. He said, that scale's from China. I said, no, it's not. I said, the scale's from Vitamix, and it's from the United States. Oh, I said, I don't know what to tell you. He said, must be a defective cup. I said, all right, I'll try another cup. He said, I don't know what to tell you. He said, but I'm really busy right now. You want to buy coffee or not? I said, not really.
Well, it's funny, John. I'm looking at the prices right now on the other side here, and so the toll is $2.95.
They went up. When I did that video, HH was a long time ago.
No, that's fine. Well, I mean, it's pretty interesting because I've seen that, in a few videos about the fries, the burger fry, or the burger franchises fries, where that small, medium and stuff, the same fries fit in all of them. And then you look at, the grande is $3.65, and then the latte venti is $4.15. So you're right. It's a few cents, 50, 40, 50, whatever, 60 cents, a pop. But, I think 70 is the first one. And, it's just about less for the venti. Now, it's not a free refill. Like, if you go to Panera, for example, they have that. You can have that opportunity. But, but you're right. It's just, it looks like, oh my God, I'm getting this big thing, but it's not much more than the actual that is small. And it's an interesting thing. And, it's pricey in considering to that. I mean, you mentioned 7-Eleven or Wawa and some other places, you get those pre-filled coffee.
Wawa was actually not bad. Wawa, actually, their sizes were... So what I did some more studying on this, and I contacted the cup manufacturer. Several of them didn't respond to me. I called the people that made, I think it was the cups from 7-Eleven, and they let me know that there was a defect in manufacturing and they've all been replaced, which they were, because I had a cup from 2 years ago, and that cup was made differently than the cup. I also noticed that the supplier that they had 2 years ago was a different supplier. So I think this happens not only with just soda. It happens with, if you buy a bag of potato chips.
Oh, forget those. They're like halfway there. A lot of air in there. You're buying a lot of air.
Yeah. So, and every once in a while, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and buy something. So let's see what's actually in this, and let's actually weigh this on a scale. I do that every once in a while. Let's actually see how much food is being given in the package. Now, they say 17.6 ounces, but why is my scale only showing 12 ounces?
It's amazing that I don't know. I mean, the people that make these things, they know. I mean, they promote one thing. It has to be
Yeah, well, you know what
exactly.
they figure out? They
Yeah.
figured out that when we talk about, like packaging, when I asked one person, "Oh, John, this you have to understand, they got to leave room for expansion. So you don't need to leave like a foot in the bag." Well, no, we got to make sure if it's too hot that the bag doesn't pop. I said, well, you don't need to leave that much room for expansion. That was used to me that they had to leave room for expansion because of the summertime.
Well, first of all, these things are never in a temperature where they're really going to have that heat. They're
Well, I know
usually
that was my next question to the guy. I said they're never in a temperature thing like that. So I think this is and I'm not done with this, by the way. I'm still going to do more of it, but there are many companies that cheat you on the size of what they give you.
Yeah, it is amazing.
And so I think a lot of times, when you think of a big brand, or now what they're trying to do to kind of get back in this market, they're trying to just gouge you for a big price and just keep coming for free refills. So that means it's okay if we charge you $5. Then that means it's okay if we rip you off because you can come back 100 times.
Well, I mean, you do have like memberships, for example. I know Panera, for example, has $8 whatever. Come in and fill in as many times as you want,
Okay.
and really, I mean, for the price of it, it's worth it. I mean, you go a couple
Is
of
it
times.
$8 one visit or forever?
No, for the month. So
Oh, for the month.
30 days or whatever, a full month worth of coffee. If you're really a coffee drinker, you just come in and just stop by, fill up, and go. Fill up. I think Wawa has something too, like to refill. It's a half price or whatever. So, I mean, these companies do have options, and
I did a thing when I was moving in here about 5-7 years ago, and I'm getting ready to move again. I didn't have my Instahot installed yet. Now, Instahot's a thing where you can actually get your tea. I love my tea and hot cocoa, whenever I have it, and I like it hot. I don't want to boil it. So I have the Instahot, which actually gets it up to the 198 to the 212, the boiling temperature. Like in a second, just open it, it's always boiling. So I didn't have it the first month or two. And I went down to Starbucks, which was right down the road from me. And I said, "How much is the medium a medium tea?" This was at Starbucks. So it was like a Starbucks and a Target. They didn't have like a Starbucks direct. So I said, "Okay, let me go check that out." And so I was paying. I'm trying to remember what I was paying. This was probably like 7 years ago. But when I was going to get, and I think I would always get a medium because the small just seemed very. Again, I wasn't really going after their prices at the time. I was just trying to just get myself a cup of tea, and I think I don't have to do this for a few months. So I would go get myself like a tea, which is the same price as a coffee. All right, and I would usually get the Grande used to be the big. Now Venti is the new one. They ain't always had. So they have tall, they have Grande, they have Venti, they have Trenton, then they have Mini, then they have tall. They got too confusing with their prices in some of these. They got very confusing. So I would get the tall, and I think I was paying like $2.25 or $2.50 per cup, which was like the medium. And then after I got my Instahot hold installed, and I was adding things, I went back, and lady saw me in the store. She says, "Did you want a cup of coffee?" I said, "Did you know what I pay for a cup of coffee at your place? I can have a cup of coffee or tea at my home for a month or more."
Well, I mean, yeah, that someone could debate that, what, but because I mean, obviously, everything home and versus that. I mean, there's a cost, there's that, the other. I mean, they can come back. I think by the way, just as a disclaimer to anybody watching this particular show, both of John and myself are actually registered journalists, and so, we bring the facts. Our media companies are a little different. We're not your regular news.
No.
Or we're just not bloggers or vloggers, whatever you call them. We're a little bit of all of that, and this is a podcast, a show, and everything. But just understand that what John does, these are experiments to really bring and shed light on certain things. And I gotta say something. There's one that is just as bad. When you go and ask for a drink, whatever, a soft drink, and they fill the
Yes.
cup with ice all the way up. You're getting this much drink and a lot more of ice. I mean, I don't know if you've done that experiment, but I mean,
But I
really,
used
when you
to
look
be a
at that,
soda drinker many years ago. I was alert to that. I've been off soda for probably over 20, 30, 20, 20, 25 years or more. And I would always go to the restaurants like, I'll have a large Coke, no ice.
oh, I never asked for ice.
Well, I say a large Coke, no ice, because they put ice in it automatically.
Of course.
Tell them that. And so they come back to me and I said, this drink is 95% ice. I don't want this. Oh, it's free refills. I said, yeah, but I'm not. I want a pure soda. I said, it doesn't cost you guys a nickel to give me a full glass of soda. I said, so don't be skimping with me on the ice here.
But really, I mean, you go to restaurants, you go places, they just shove in like the whole cup is just whatever your drink is. They put a lot of ice and very little of whatever you're asking.
As a server, we were always taught to fill the glass up with ice. And I said to my man, I said, that's terrible. He says, yeah. He says, well, we save a lot of money. If we do this and we fill 1,000 cups a year, we save a lot of money. I said, that's terrible.
Well, they do, but that's actually really not being not you're not getting what you're paying for. I mean, you're paying, I don't know, some places the $3-4 to get a drink.
That's almost as bad as when so I have I didn't talk about this, but because you love health stuff, I had my RO for years, which was very good. Had it for 6-7 years, and about maybe 7-8 months ago, I was getting pretty sick, and I said something was wrong. And first of all, before I was getting sick, I went to the faucet, turned it on, and as a special faucet, and I noticed that it was taking like twice as long to fill the cup, the little big container, 20 ounce. Then I noticed it's taking 3 times longer, then 4 times longer, then 5 times longer. And suddenly, I'm only able to get this much out of the faucet in about 3 minutes. And I normally could fill a whole thing. And so I would let it just whatever, and I came back. I said, eventually I'll have to do something. So somebody had told me a while back, you should put the bleach in it, the Clorox a little bit, and that's how you can purify. I said, I really don't want to get involved with that. That's how restaurants, people know this. But you take a little tiny capful of Clorox or your bleach into a larger concentration of water, and that's how they sanitize.
I mean, listen, I have to say, so now, we live in the States, and I guess the level of hygiene is much higher than many other places. I mean, Europe, I'd say it's competitive. Canada, some of the Western, countries, some other countries may not be as hygienic and as, proactive in terms of these things, but there's always cheats, here and there. And I'll give you an example. I mean, I was overseas, and this is something that I discovered in some of these places, like, whether supermarkets or stores. They actually turn their fridges and refrigerators overnight off to save energy. And then the stuff that's in there, that's supposed to be at a certain temperature, the temperature drops. So in the morning, and how I discovered, I went in the early morning, and I'm looking at this pastry, place, and there's moisture in, the actual, bakery stuff, or like the pastries. And I'm like, you cannot possibly have moisture, water, condensation on these things if the temperature was not, with a differential. And it's amazing. Like, people don't have no clue. They don't do anything about it. And you can find a lot of that stuff all over the place. It's sad that, people pay the price, to get the quality, and sometimes you don't get the quality. And therefore you get, problems, and medical things can happen very quickly. And that's not something we want, folks. I mean, we want to, eat out. And if you eat out, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of always eating out. I eat out, of course, like everybody else. But you pick what you eat and the places you go to, and but these things do happen. I mean, the some people, they don't even clean their stuff. The dishes come in really not clean super. Now, of course, some places they use these high heat washing machines, and some people may not have the same. So the equipment varies from one place to the other. There's always that. And again, folks, you just have to be careful. You have to be aware. You can talk if you don't see something you don't like. You can speak about it. I mean, there's a level of protection. I mean, the good news is, again, we're talking about the States. Any restaurants, you have to have somebody that can handle the food, things like that. You have, I mean, Department of Health usually, doesn't matter what state, what county, township. These people show up, unannounced, and they just go and boom, pop quiz. Let me see what you got, and then you get busted. Like in New York, for example, they have this coding system. If you have an A versus a B, they place that in the window of your store or restaurant. Now, if you have an A, it means that your inspection passed and you're good. And if you have a B, you're losing clients. So, I mean, sometimes you got to, play right and understand that, if you get short on things, you're going to get short on clients and your reputation goes down the drain. That's a problem. And so between, like, again, these are things that we're talking about here that in businesses that we see and we've noticed. And again, your example about the coffee, the ice, the chips, not the chips, the fries, in these fast food chains, and again, the air that is massive in this chips bag. You open it up and you crawl it back. It's just half of the size. I mean, it's obviously weight, so the weight is there, but really you expect the bag. I mean, that's also like you said, about a visual effect. You're looking at things, it's an illusion. You're like, well, I'm getting this much, but in reality, you're getting this much. So it's amazing how, and people get away with these things unless people talk about them. And I think with the
absolutely. And the thing that's interesting, I was telling you about this whole thing, is that when I talked about the sink, what I didn't tell you yet was that, so I realized something was wrong, but then, I don't know, it was a couple weeks later, and I wasn't feeling great. And I didn't chuckle. I said, wait a minute. I said, I think it's the water. So I stopped drinking the water, and I felt much better. I said, this is strange. The water usually makes me feel good. Something's wrong with that water. So I got out my test kit, which I hadn't taken out in a while, and I saw the water had bacteria in it. So I said, oh, you really should go by and you should do this whole thing. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this because you got to flush it right. You had to buy these needles, and there's a whole process. I said, and then what if I don't clean it right? Could be more contaminant. Then I did some research. I figured, well, nobody's doing tanks anymore. I talked to a plumber. For Christmas, I actually got my parents an RO system, the same one I got. So just to let you know, on the health realm, nobody's doing tanks anymore, but plumbers are still putting them in because that's all they know about. The new thing is tankless. Just like we have tankless water heaters, we have tankless RO systems. So my old RO system could filter 4 times. My new RO system filters 8 times, and it does 600 gallons per day.
Now, just as a curiosity, for people are watching right now, what's the cost to something like that? I mean, and the labor that's included in there, because obviously somebody's going to install that, and you got to purchase it. So, is it worth it? Is it acceptable? Is it affordable? What's the status there?
Well, you have to realize, when I started with this system, what got me hooked on this a little bit, to be honest with you, was I was doing an install for a client of mine who was a doctor. And I had been off soda for a while, and I think we ordered some pizza for the guys to finish something up. And they had some water. I said, oh, it's not going to be great, but let's just have the water anyway. I mean, it's late at night. We'll just have the water. We'll be fine. And we started having the water. And after I had a slice, I'm like, this water is pretty good. They're like, John, it's just water. I said, no, but this water is really tasty. And that's the first time I started getting, like, really, I had drank water a little bit because I had to drink it, but I'm like, I like this water. Like, I want to drink more of this water. This water tastes like really yummy. And I talked to the office manager. I said, where do you get this water? He says, oh, this is their number. I called them up. I went and had it installed in my office. Then I found out they don't install at homes because that was a whole different thing. I called it, went online. I bought it on Amazon. It wasn't a lot of money at that time. That was, I think it was under $400. And then the plumbers, they try to rip you off. I think to install it, I finally got them down to around $300.
Okay, so it's
too bad. And
it's still $700.
Was about $120 every 2 years.
So basically, I mean, apart from the original cost, I mean, the use is really nothing. I mean, it's pretty affordable.
Now the new one, the system with a coupon, I think I wound up paying for the new one around $700 or $800, and it went for like $1,200. So there's no tank on it. So you have to realize the first one is because there's different units you could get, but the whole problem is you got to make sure you can do the labor on it. If you can't, you got to pay somebody to come in and do it all the time, because you got to do the maintenance. And if you're going to get something like this, don't go buy it and not maintain it. Just keep drinking the garbage water, or drink the terrible water on the bottle, because you'd be better off. Because if you're not going to maintain this, just don't waste your money. It's just not going to help you. So I learned myself how to change the things, and I got one of the ones where you could change it, and This one you didn't have to do too much with it, but you had to be careful because when you took the things out, there was a little bit of water dripping. When you pulled it out, still a pain in the neck. So sometimes I would turn the water off, do a little flush, turn the tank. So it was still a little bit of work. And there were 4 different cartridges you would change. And so there were 4. This one has 3. Okay. But on this one, you change 1 cartridge every 6 months. You change 1 cartridge every year. And you change 1 cartridge every 2 years. Not bad. And when you unscrew them, put them back in, it's very easy and it doesn't leak. And you can't screw it up because the system on top, the faucet's digital. It goes from white to yellow to red. So it tells you which filter you have to order and change. The system does require electricity, so you have to have electric under your sink. And the other thing that people may or may not like about it is that it does make a noise. Not a big noise, but it makes a noise several times during the day because it's running and filtering itself out. As well as when you run the faucet, you will hear it. But I haven't run the faucet a certain amount of hours, it will automatically run its cycle. So the way the old systems used to work, it was 1 gallon, okay, to 2 wasted gallons. That's a lot of wasted water, isn't it? 1 gallon, you wasted 2 gallons of water. Now, how much you think the new one wastes?
None.
No, it can't be none.
Well, I mean, 1 gallon to 1 gallon. I don't know.
It's 2 gallons to 1 gallon.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I mean, I still don't get I guess the waste part of it, but I guess it's the processing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have an RO system, you have to realize there's a flushing action.
So that's
So
what
with the tank,
that's
it goes
the
to
loss.
the tank. With this, it's going through and flushing through, so there's always a flushing piece. And when you change the cartridges, you can't use it. The system locks out until it finishes the flush, until it's ready to go. It won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but again, I mean, the water that we drink these days is just that to your point.
So let me go there.
Yeah.
Because you probably know this. I bought a TDS kit tester, a total dissolvable solids tester, many years ago when I had the other system. So that's one of the reasons I knew the health, everything was bad with my water. Well, with this system and the other one, I decided to take Poland Spring or whatever it was, and I decided to test it. So what do you think TDS should be at to drink? What is a safe TDS drinking level? I mean, if you want to take a guess at that.
Well, I don't even know what the measure would be, so I have no idea.
Okay, so no problem. So it's called total dissolvable solids. Okay, that's what it stands for in English. All right, and so nothing can be 0. Let's just establish that nothing can be 0. There has to be some number. We want some iron. We want some nutrients in our water, right? We want some. So my water comes out between 5 and 6.
What's the measure?
And what's that?
What's the measure used?
Total dissolvable solids.
Oh, so okay, so that's
TDS scale.
So okay, 5 TDS. Got it.
Yeah. So it's called the TDS water scale.
What's the acceptable rate?
So acceptable right now, I mean, they're always changing it, but TDS water scale safety level right now is like, is it coming out? I think they're saying that you can be in, and basically the way it does it is it's in parts per million, if that makes sense. So people say you should have 0. You never have 0. An acceptable level is around the 5, 6 level. You have to realize you're never gonna get 0.
Okay.
You don't want to have 0.
But so what did you discover on the other ones?
So let me explain. So the TDS on my other one, even though says it was at this, it was not at 5. It was maybe at 8 or 10. Okay, but when I took the water out from Poland Spring, okay, how much do you think the TDS was at Poland Spring?
20.
Okay. Now, according to the standards of safety in the industry, so you know the differences. Remember I told you that scale. Now, that's a very hypochondriatic scale I gave you.
Mhm.
An acceptable level, okay, for health of our bodies is 50 to 150. By the government standards, okay, we know that what that is. It's 150 to 300 for health. For general good life health, 300 to 500. 500 to 900 would be considered poor, and most people wouldn't do anything about it until it gets above 900 or 1200.
So what was the scale for the Poland Spring or the other
So
brands?
the Poland Spring came right at about between 46 and 52,
It's not bad. I
which
mean,
meant that it was an acceptable level.
so that's good. That's excellent.
Well, no,
Well, I mean,
because
excellent would be
here's
5, but
my water. And so when my parents were over, they have one of these, they have the fridge and everything that does the ice in the water, and it's
Mhm.
okay. And it tastes okay. But you have to realize that doesn't filter anywhere near what this filters. So for Christmas, I got them and I use a company. You might know the company. It's called Water Drip. Water Drip. I always forget the name. Water Drip. It's actually
uh,
it's water drop. That's I always mess the name up. Water drop.
close enough.
And
Um,
so the thing about it is that you know if you really take your health seriously, okay, I got to tell you that having good um, water is essential to having a good body.
well,
Now, I
we're
never
75% water, so we need a good stuff.
Yep, we're above 60% water, so that's exactly right. And it's that kind of it's that type of thing. But how many people do you know that's going to spend $600 to $1,000 on a water drop or on an RO system?
Not too
Right?
many.
Not too many people.
Well, a lot of people buy bottled water already, stuff, which
Yeah,
now
but the thing
that
about
goes into
bottled water
plastics
you have
and
to understand is that it is constantly fluctuating. So I could pick one today, and the next week it could be totally bad. But the nice thing about this is I know the measure of my water every time I drink it. When I open the tap, I get the readout of the 3 filters, and I get immediately, as soon as the water comes out of the faucet, what the TDS is in real time.
well, so John, I want to just interject here because this is something that happened to me, and I want to share with the
Okay,
audiences
sure,
here.
sure.
Now, remember, this logo is the iHealth channel, and we are on iHealth Radio.
Yep.
So this discussion is definitely affecting our key topics here. And so I had an actual service that delivered water to my house. I had the filters, the dispenser, the whole nine. And so it's been going, it was good for a couple of years. I had them. There was no problem.
Mhm.
It was just in the middle, I think, towards the end of COVID, right? And I got a batch of those jugs, the 5 gallons, whatever they are,
Yes.
and I put them in the machine, and then the water tasted stale. I mean, it was literally like the water was old.
Okay.
So definitely this bacteria. I didn't test it, but just the taste of it, you couldn't even drink it. It's like it was like like it's like mold in it, right? So I
Yes.
called them and I say, okay, this stuff. They say I take pictures of that, because they wanted to make sure I didn't fake that or whatever, just because it's a company, right? They got to do their due diligence. So okay, no problem. So I do the whole thing. I give them that. They take that. Then they re-deliver the water. Now guess what? I test that water. They just put chlorine tablets in the thing. Whatever they did, it was just high chlorine. I mean, like it went from stale to like pool water taste. I mean, it just kind of like I was like, I can do those chlorinated tablets myself if I wanted to. I mean, you can buy them from Walmart and drop them in a gallon, and you get yourself purified water. You know, so it is there's a risk. I mean, we buy stuff all the time, and whether you buy a filter system or you buy, one of those deliveries, I mean, it's convenience. The water comes in, you just put it up, you change those gallons, and then your water's good. There's different brands out there, but this particular one, this is exactly, they own a couple of sites. So there, I actually try to, figure out different companies, and then I wound up
Yeah.
with the same company. I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with you anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I want you guys to take your dispenser and your bottles,
Yep.
and I want to stop the service. But
Yep.
folks, it is, important. I mean, this is not a joke. If you're drinking bacteria, it's going to, hurt your body and your health, and it's going to affect your
I
kidneys.
did it for one day and I immediately stopped. I'm like, this does
Mm.
not taste like the, because I chug a lot of this water, and for me, it's so easy to just drink it. And I was like, why do I not like the water so it tastes like really rancid? It doesn't taste good.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, so originally I wanted spring water, and somehow
Okay.
at a certain point, the water can shifted, and I'm like, this is not spring water. It didn't taste like spring water. And then I called like, oh, it's supposed to be spring water. Well, why am I getting non-spring water? I mean, I'm getting just filtered water. I mean, I can do that as well. So again, when you are do your due diligence, folks out there, water is like, you can't survive with it. I mean, food maybe a month, 45 days, as they say. Water is 3 days, and you're kind of out. Your kidneys will start shutting down, and you want the good stuff. Yeah, filtration is that there's lead.
You
There's
want good
yeah.
water in your body, and it helps a lot of things from digestion. It helps so many different things.
Again, we shared with you guys today. I mean, John, we're exceeded our hour, but we're almost an hour and a half here. But we've covered quite a bit of grounds, and a couple of good things. I mean, by the way, I love that video. I mean, and next time maybe share another one with us. And
Okay.
and by the way, that's what you see, guys. If you watch this video, there is a link of that video in the first part that didn't have the audio. Maybe click on that, and then go to John's. He's got a whole bunch of those experiments, and he does a great job with them.
Yep, every week we release another one.
Yeah. So do check them out. They're pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's as authentic as it gets. I mean, it's you see what you get. What you see is what you get, right? He does in front of you. You see it, and it just gives you it gets you closer to the reality of things. And it's we're just again, media is about making sure that we share value and things. We're not here judging. We're not making any decisions on anyone. This is not a news venue where no one is in trouble. But at the same time, if you're watching or listening, it's good to learn, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is. The judgment is yours to make that assessment if this is for you or not for you. So again, information is brought to you for that purpose. So John, we're almost done here. So
We're at the end of our hour and a half. So I hope you guys found this to be very interesting. And I gave you guys the link, but I want to I want to clarify one thing. The thing I gave you about Water Drop. So they've actually changed. Water Drop is another division of their company, which actually you're going to start getting in airports. You're going to be able to buy yourself a biodegradable container, and they'll fill it with their water from waterdropfilter.com. They changed. Water Drop is the company that provides all the delicious flavors that you can add to any of their delicious filtered water.
Filtered and delicious.
So
I
you're
like
going to
it.
be able to go to an airport for under $1, or maybe depending more if they want to rip you off, and you can choose what natural flavors. I said natural, not
Artificial.
chemically induced, or flavors that have all kinds of things we can't pronounce, that are probably not good for our bodies or cells. And I just want to leave you with one thought, because I know we're out of time. I was traveling back, was with the new airport, which the new airport they spent $65 billion on, but not to get too into that.
Are you talking about Terminal A?
I've been flying for a while, and HH flies a lot. I'm very picky when I fly, how I fly, where I sit. But forget all that. I'm also picky about my health when I fly. No, I'm not talking wearing a mask. I'm talking about the fact that when I go through security, so I have clear, that's number one, but forget that. I'm very picky because when I go through, I don't want to subject my body to something that could harm its cells. Being an engineer and studying this, I've known that since we went from regular wave to microwave, which came out a little while ago, it actually causes damage to the cells. Okay. Now in the new airport, not only do they do microwave, but imagine 72 guns firing at you. Okay, micro guns firing at you for about 15 to 20 seconds. So you got a great big wall, and there's 72 guns.
The one
that
that
and they just fire at you. So I don't do any of those things. I'll only go through a manual pat down. I feel that these things have made people sick. There's been studies showing that these things actually will kill even healthy cells in our body. So, yep.
So John, just for the curiosity of people that are watching, how do you select not to be in the machine and do?
Save whether you are are male, female, opt out.
So, and it is protected. So,
Male opt out.
and everybody
And
has the ability to do that.
Most people are very respectful, like, okay, wait over here, we'll get somebody for you. And then usually they'll go, we have to do this, we have to do the whole set. I said, yeah, I know the standard. We have to still tell you. I said, I understand, I get it. But if you just go and say, I want to opt, like, they're going to be like, so you want to kind of know what it is. It is a full body pat down. They use their hands whole part. Sensitive areas, they use the back of their hands. It's a very easy procedure. And even though it might seem a little bit annoying, I'd rather have that than have the fact that I don't mind walking through those quick scans like you do at the airport, the courthouse.
Yeah.
I don't like these things where you're standing here because first there was a security risk of what they're doing with the footage, but forget all the issues of where the cameras go. My thing was now there's a wall, and you just stand in front of this wall, okay, and they just shoot beams at you. And when I walked by the other side of the wall, the side that's not shooting at you, I read the amount of the count. And the thing is this: how much microwave? Okay, this is an interesting question. How much microwave will kill a body cell? And this is the thing that really can be a problem. Did you know that 5 milliwatts per square centimeter is enough to cause some issues? Now, they say that it's not dangerous to people. However, there have been issues that they have activated cells in your body that have caused cancer. So, moral of my story is, it's your body. You do what you want with it. But when you travel, when you go through the security place and you're up to that line and you're putting your stuff the way they want, male opt out, stand right there. You're good to go. They'll go through the procedure. It's pretty painless. And you'll feel comfortable because you didn't have all these extra beams going through your body.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, I believe just for also our audiences, if you're not sure, they do have a big sign just before you do that tells you that you have the ability to do so, and you can actually.
I don't always see that sign though.
Oh, again, I've seen it in JFK. I don't
They
know
don't
if
have it in Jersey.
maybe. I mean, I think I've seen it on the JFK terminal where
Okay.
I was reading it, like it gives you the option. But again, for people, listen. I mean, the old school was you get a pat down and basically that's it. I mean, same thing. So it's still the same. And by the way, sometimes even after this, they still can do secondary and still tap you. So might as well tap me once and that's.
Yeah, well, they will use other things. That's true. And of course, if you have like a pacemaker or other devices, they don't want that being there because that can cause issues. But just to let you know, there are 4 types of effects: energy metabolism, cell morphology, cell division, and membrane permeability. And each one of those can be broken down into central nervous system, reproductive, cardiovascular, and hepatomic. And there can be long-term, continuous, or temperature-controlled based on just the admittance or presence of EMR to your body.
And again, if you travel once in a year is one thing, but if you're a frequent flyer, then you're exposing yourself too much of this stuff, and therefore you should, And again, some of these things, you get the clear, you get the global entry, you get all the stuff, you get a little bit of, they already know your system, they know that you're clearer, you're good to them in general from security and safety, so it'd be easier to go through this. So if you travel a lot, then that's it. Again, your health is your wealth. Do the right thing, be always courteous, follow the rules. But you can do it without, detriment to your health, and that's a key. But you're right. I mean, listen, I'm in front of like 3 computers right now, TV, lights and stuff. We are getting bombarded. There's a couple of phones.
That amount is not as much as this, because you have to realize the computers have some emission. Even the microwave, I mean, it's got a lot of reflections. This is a problem because it's aimed directly. It's almost like thinking of a laser.
Yeah, you're scanned basically.
Aim it in space.
Well, it's just like CAT scans and MRIs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really
directly at you. The closer you are, that laser will have an impact to your body, skin, and cells, and the way they function.
Listen, radiology, right? you got to put a whole gown, that is, protective and stuff. That stuff is radioactive. It's real. It helps, but it has an effect. And if you're exposed to it long enough, it could be a problem. By the way, we have radiation every day that hits it from the sun, from the different things, and now more than ever.
A certain amount, but when we can reduce our direct impact to it, I think it's our duty to stay out of that frame.
And with that, John, let's wrap it up, baby.
I guess we got to wrap. Well, it has been a nice long first hour, a little more than that, on our first show back. I'm not sure if when we're moving to next, we're kind of still working on our schedule, but we'll probably see you back again next week, but we're not sure yet.
Yeah. We'll. So far, I think we can do the 9 on Monday. So
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a little later because I think I told you I have a show now, so I'll probably be doing like 9:30ish because I now have a play that I'm in again. So
all
we have
right.
play practice Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 6 to 10.
All right. Now, also tomorrow is your regular show on the radio.
Yep, tomorrow's regular show in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
7:30. All that's on the Believe Me Achieve. All that's on the page. But check out all the great stuff and all the things we're working on. Like I said, help us to get that to Jason Academy. I'd like to reach 3,000 in a few months. You help me get to 50,000, 100,000, which I'm very grateful for. I just want to get to 1,000, 2,000 on TikTok. I want to be able to stream live, and I need your help to do that.
And you have things to stream live with. So
I
hey, I like my TikTok. Mine is just clips of the shows, but you is really like you're doing your thing. So hey, might as well support our dude here.
See what's what and all kinds of different things. I did a day. I think it was of random acts of kindness. I would love to film that live on TikTok. I just went out and I saw a car, and I never go to fast food. And I said to the guy, I want to take the third car. So what do you mean? Just take the third car in line and I'll pay him. Well, you know what they bought? I said, I don't care. Just here's my card. He said, well, their bill was $48. I said, okay.
Hold on, John. I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna order a whole $200. so be careful, dude. You might find me the third car. I like what you're doing, man. Be careful. People are gonna track you now. This guy's good. You never know when he hits.
Yeah, but I kind of look for the car that's kind of needy. I look for the people that.
All right, don't worry. I'm gonna get me a beat up car, from the junkyard. Just
not be the junkyard. It's just you look for you just kind of in the right place, and says, I did it at Burger King, I did it at Starbucks. The guy at Starbucks was giving me a hard time. He said, well, you can't do that. I said, why not? Well, we can't have you paying for somebody else. Why not? I have to get a manager. Like, they were just like, I can't do that. Like, why not?
Probably a new guy, newbie that didn't know. Listen, they don't care. Money is good. Yeah, your money is just as good as long as you pay for it.
It really brightened somebody's day. I remember one time I was at a gas station. The lady couldn't pay. She had kids in the car. She couldn't pay for her gas. I said, just take her, just fill her car for her.
Listen, again, it's the beginning of the new year, and let's be nice. Let's do something good. Like you said, you don't have to do this all the time. Do it randomly, and you see someone in need. Like sometimes someone wants food, get them a sandwich. It's not a big deal. I mean, very little things can make a difference. Someone sometimes is short. Just finish it up. Make it whole. I mean,
you could be in the store just like that show, Christmas Shoes, right? Where the kid didn't know what to do to buy his mom those shoes because she was going to pass away that night. And that guy just had to help him out. And he put the money down. He said to the kid at the counter, he's like, this cashier said, there's not enough here. And the guy just gave him the money.
Listen, I think there's good in all of us. And I think more of us have more good than we think. Whatever you can do to help. I mean, discussions help, follow. I mean, you're talking about follow. It doesn't cost a lot, folks. I mean, there are people that think that when they follow you, they're going to pay you. You're going to get money. Let me explain to you, folks. First of all, our time is not, it's the most value that we have. So when you put something to share value, and maybe to some people it may not be value, but to some it might be. The fact is, you support everybody and anybody that you can, any way or shape. If you follow me, I'll follow you. I don't have that rule. Like I don't follow you. If you follow me and I see the follow, I'm going to click back to you and I'll do it, and I'll support it. But what I'm point is that, there are people mentalities that say that, well, you know what, if he's going to make money because of me. Well, here's the thing. You go to the movies, and we have stars that make millions. Well, you support them. So why is it any different? And I'm not talking that we're stars or anything, but this is a same challenge like I see all the time. People are like, iffy about following someone. If you like their content, now, if you don't like it, obviously you don't belong there. They don't belong in your world, and that's all good. But if you think that there's something you can gain from it, why not? Just assist, help, and that doesn't cost you anything. And by the way, nobody is paying, you're not paying that person their work,
and I want to give you just two quick things what we're going to talk about next show, which I usually don't do. But I'm going to talk about why Dairy Queen, I don't think we talked about this in the next show, Why Dairy Queen? Actually, not Dairy Queen. Why McDonald's? Did we talk about this? Why McDonald's ice
Mm.
cream never works?
Oh, we did talk about that.
We did
We
talk about.
covered.
Oh,
We did cover
all
that.
right, good.
All right. Well,
Just so
listen.
you know, over 2 million people right now have praised Water Drop. Over 2 million, not people, 2 million families
Households.
have praised Water Drop. That's a lot of people. A lot of
All right.
families.
Well, I guess you're praising them and we're praising them live right now. So a lot of people are going to praise them and check them out. Listen, folks, again, this is not an endorsement. We're not sponsored by anyone
We're not
here,
getting
but
paid by them.
yeah,
Nope.
it's if it feels right, it feels right. If it's not right, we share it with you. I mean, you do your own diligence. You do your own research if you want to. We just give you open your eyes to something. We give you information. Whatever you make out of it, it's up to you. Well, that being said, I think it's time to say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye. So it's been great, HH.
Always.
Everyone. Thank you so much for watching us, and peace. I guess we're out.
We out. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Talk
everyone.
next week. Bye.